All right, we got done with session number 2. Shut up.
To find out why it didn't work right now.
Hey, am I the one that gives a shit about the rules?
When it affects you, obviously.
Yes. All right, we got done with session number 2. This is the non-spoiler version of this conversation. We just finished the very first scenario of the campaign. This was when we actually then got out of the prologue and actually started exploring and started opening up new and fun things. This is probably going to be really quick because we can't really talk very specifically right now. So I'm just going to go around the table and everybody can kind of give their thoughts and contrast and compare with the first session. I thought that this obviously opened up a lot of new information. It really felt a lot like the first session, but it seemed like we were able to cover ground that we weren't able to get through the very first time, so we kind of cleaned everything up, which is kind of good. I know some people have talked about not doing the prologue and just diving in, but I think you really do need to do the prologue just so you can kind of just get everything rolling, as it were. So now we have a really good base to start with and then expand and explore the rest of the game. So, Craig, you played well.
I finished in third. Oh, that's a spoiler, sorry.
It's not a spoiler, you finished third.
If you were watching this before playing the prologue, lose the prologue, because if you win the prologue...
That's a spoiler.
No, it's not. You immediately learned at the beginning of turn 1 that if you win the prologue, you get none of the bonuses you normally get for winning, but you get to go last. Going last sucks.
Craig is salty.
I'm salty.
All right, Jim, your general thoughts. Hey, it's your birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Jim.
Wonderful, wonderful. I kind of think that was a spoiler too, Craig, but we'll go with
Redo it.
Anyway,
Cut.
no, I think we should move on to the non-spoilers. I enjoyed the second even more than the first, and hopefully I will be able to do much better next time.
I actually felt like I felt like we're the game, like the actual the first one I felt like we were kind of telling a story, and then this one actually felt like you were playing a board game, mechanisms wise and things like that.
Kind of put together a strategy this time versus last time where you're kind of just feeling your way, I think.
It's kind of painful watching you versus watching him, though, because you had extremely poor luck rolling your dice, and it was a constant burden. Whereas,
I only did one action that caused me to roll dice, and I just rolled really well, though.
Extremely well.
Extremely well.
What? No. What was it? What was the second? What was the second one? I only remember the first. I did one explore that I had to get 6 successes, and I succeeded, and I didn't roll the dice again.
I'm pretty sure you rolled it a second time, and it was 3 dice, and it was all successes.
Maybe. I don't remember, honestly.
It wasn't as big a
always
deal as the
1 or
first
2
one.
successes short, so he always had damage on his.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, indeed.
But you agree though that it felt like more of a game now. Actually, resource management, plotting out your turns, things like that.
You can actually start to plan now, although your plans often fall apart.
Yeah. What about you, Tim, Mr. Rules Jerk?
Rules jerk.
Tim was scouring the internet for rules.
I like to play by the rules. Call me crazy. That was, you talked about the prologue and whether you should play the prologue or not. And I know there's, in other games, it sometimes feels like if after round 2 you could stop and reset, you'd get more enjoyment out of the game because everybody'd kind of get a taste of it. That's what the prologue was for us. Kind of got us through running the mechanics without really having
Mechanisms.
That too, thank you, sir. Without having any long-term impacts, with the exception of Craig's saltiness. So I would encourage people to play the prologue, but this one as well, you start to see where the game is really going to go and what shape it's going to have. And without spoiling, by the end of this, we have a taste of what the next step is, and it's intriguing. It feels like the game's going to get
Mechanically. That'll work.
Make up your mind. It is going to get bigger, and there's going to be more decisions to make, more hard choices to make. This one did feel a little bit like every time I took an action, it was a turn too late.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign of a game that needs a little mastery.
All 4 of us who didn't win feel exactly that way, and the person who did win was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Everything felt perfect for timing.
It did. It had that feel of never have enough.
Yeah. Which is that's a good game should always make you have to make hard choices. Certainly, the thing that And especially in this group where we're constantly playing new games, the idea that we're going to come back to this again, kind of start at a new, fresh starting point, and be able to not make the same stupid mistakes again is kind of exciting. So, yeah, you know, I don't know, I get back to being 15 games and I'll let you know how exciting it is. But right now, I'm looking
I, for
forward
one,
to
am
it.
looking forward to how salty Craig gets later.
I don't know how much more salt he's got left. I didn't get enough sleep
Will be
last
the
night.
pillar of salt.
All right, so that was the non-spoiler version. I mean, it's really tough doing these, but I mean, we're just trying to give a good overview of how our feelings about the game are going to change with each session. If you want to check out the actual spoiler one, you can see what we discovered, what we did, and like maybe ruin the game for you. So, all right, cool.